The air inside the courtroom feels heavy, almost alive. Every seat is filled, cameras flashing, reporters whispering, and the quiet tension of years of family secrets pressing down like a storm. Kody Brown sits at the defense table, his jaw tense, his arms crossed tightly. Beside him, Robyn cannot meet eyes, her gaze going to the floor, lips quivering ever so slightly. On the other side of the aisle, Meri stands proudly, alone, yet somehow more resilient than ever. The judge, a soft but keen-eyed woman by the name of Judge Reynolds, adjusts her glasses and clears her throat. This court is now in session for the case of Brown versus Brown. The whispers spread throughout the room. No one ever imagined it would come to this. Not after all those years of cameras, weddings, and vows of forever love. But here they are. The sister wives' family, no longer smiling for TLC cameras, but looking at each other like strangers. Meri breathes deeply, grasping the envelope that has already hit national news. This one piece of paper, might turn everything around. Mrs. Brown, the judge indicates, nodding at her. You may make your statement. Meri moves forward, her heels ringing off the chilly tile. Her voice shakes for but a moment before she gets control. Your Honor, she starts quietly. For years, I remained silent because I felt loyalty was greater than truth, but silence comes with a price, and today, I'm here to pay mine. Gasps ring out through the courtroom. Robyn clamps down on her lips so hard tears are threatening to fall. Kody fidgets uncomfortably, his eyes snapping toward the press as if he can already see tomorrow's tabloids. This envelope, Meri goes on, lifting it off the counter slightly, holds a DNA test result, one that proves something unexpected about the family we created, the family I gave up everything for. Judge Reynolds is leaning forward. And you are certain this evidence has something to do with your claim? Meri nods. Yes, Your Honor, because it's proof that I wasn't the one who betrayed this family. It was them, and I can prove it. Kody's attorney jumps up immediately. Objection, Your Honor. This is clearly a personal grudge, not a legal issue. But the judge is not buying it. We'll decide that after hearing her evidence. Meri stands tall and confronts Kody. For the first time in years, she doesn't appear fearful. She appears ready. Kody, years you called me bitter. You told me I was clinging to the past. But you never wondered why. You never cared what you were keeping from me. The room falls silent. Kody's face reddens, but he says nothing. Robyn leans in and whispers, Please, Meri. Don't do this. Meri's eyes turn cold. You already did, Robyn. You just didn't think I'd discover it. The judge gestures to her to pass the envelope to the clerk. The rustle of paper coming out is louder than anyone anticipates. The DNA report is laid out in front of the judge, and everyone leans forward. The judge reads quickly through the page, her eyebrows furrowing. And then she looks up. Mrs. Brown, this report, it's about paternity? Meri nods. Yes. It involves the child who was born in 2015, the child that Kody said was his. A faint hum of shock travels like wildfire. Robyn covers her mouth with trembling hands, gasping. Kody springs to his feet. This is ridiculous, he bellows. She's trying to ruin my family to get attention. But the judge holds up her hand. Mr. Brown, sit down. The room pauses, holding its breath for a moment. The judge glances back at Meri. Are you telling this court that Mr. Brown isn't the biological father of that child? Meri's voice doesn't shake today. Yes, Your Honor, and the report verifies it. The judge scowls. You understand the gravity of this charge? I do, Meri says. But after all those years of being called a liar, manipulated and set aside, I had no other option but to discover the truth myself. Kody bangs his fist on the table. You had no right. This is between me and my wife. Meri's eyes blaze. Your wife? The one you were sneaking around with before our divorce was finalized? Or the one who used my silence to create her own idealized persona? The courtroom hums like a beehive. Reporters write furiously. Cameras go off. Robyn weeps, covering her face with her hands. The judge sits back. Order! Order in the court! When silence comes again, Judge Reynolds addresses Meri once more. This court will take a short recess before examining the document further. She states, as everyone starts to move, Kody looks at Meri with fury. You're doing this because you're jealous. Because I chose Robyn. You've always hated her. Meri looks back. No, Kody. I'm doing this because you chose lies over love. She turns on him and walks away, leaving him at a loss for words. Reporters charge forward as Robyn falls into Kody's arms, but the cameras don't capture them. They capture Meri, the woman who once was the reserved, faithful first wife now is the one whose hands rest the future of the entire family. There it could end. But the true story has only just started. Inside that second envelope lies a name. The man who truly fathered the child. A name that no one in the sister wives' family ever expected. As Meri turns to see who's holding it, her face goes pale. It's Christine. Christine looks at her with a mix of fear and determination. Meri, she whispers, you're not the only one with proof. The cameras flash once more. The wind blows, and before Meri can say anything, Christine returns the envelope to her, then stalks off without saying another word. Meri holds it close, looking after her ex-sister wife, her head reeling. What could Christine possibly have? And why now, after all these years? The crowd erupts into a din. All we can hear is the beating of Meri's heart. The expression in her eyes tells us everything. She's opened a door that can't be shut. And behind that door, the truth isn't only hurtful. It's perilous. The courtroom hums as the judge returns to court from recess. Reporters hiss, cameras click, and all wait with bated breath to see what's next. Meri sits rigidly at the plaintiff's table, holding in her hand the two envelopes now sitting before her, one which has already rocked Kody's picture, and another just arrived by Christine's hand, that weighs more than appearances would suggest. Kody and Robyn whisper frantically to each other. Robyn's eyes are puffy from tears, and Kody is fidgety, his leg bobbing nervously beneath the table. Judge Reynolds returns to the room. The conversation stops dead in its tracks. This court is back in session, she states sternly. Mrs. Brown, you may proceed. Meri stands up slowly. The silence seems as if it might crack. Your Honor, she murmurs, before I present the next evidence, I have to say something. I did not come here to cause harm to anyone, but once people conceal the truth for such a long time, it is bound to show itself. She glances briefly toward Christine, who sits in the back row, hands folded tightly. Their eyes meet for just a second, enough to say, you're not alone in this. Then Meri holds up the second envelope. This one wasn't mine to open, she says. Christine gave it to me, and she said it proves what Robyn has been hiding all along. The judge gestures. Please hand it to the bailiff. When the clerk opens the envelope, rustling paper fills the air in the room. The judge reads the document, her expression growing tighter with each line. At last she looks up. This report seems to be an affidavit, the judge says hesitantly, signed by an ex-Brown family accountant. Meri nods. Yes, Your Honor, it's an affidavit. It states that when the families had joint business ventures, some of the money was deposited in an account in Robyn's name, without the knowledge of the other wives. Gasps. Reporters begin scribbling immediately. Christine looks down, her face white. Janelle, sitting next to her, shakes her head in amazement. Kody's attorney leaps to his feet. Your Honor, this is immaterial. We are not here to argue about business. Judge Reynolds cuts him off, stern. Sit down, counselor. This is closely connected to the accusation of financial dishonesty Mrs. Brown's brought forward. Kody's jaw clenches. He mutters menacingly under his breath to Robyn. You said you took care of it. You said it was taken care of. Robyn begins to sob once more. I didn't think they'd ever discover. It wasn't meant to go this far. Meri's voice shakes, but she goes on. When I saw the transfers, I thought it was an error. But then I realized those dates coincided with the same months Kody was explaining to us that we didn't have enough money in savings for our children's college education. That was when I knew it wasn't about love anymore. It was about control. Judge Reynolds gazes at the defense table. Mrs. Brown, she addresses Robyn. Do you have anything you would like to say? Robyn wipes away her tears and nods unsteadily. Your Honor, I didn't steal anything. Kody instructed me to handle our finances when the show was over. He told the other ones not to worry about it. Everyone looks at Kody. Kody pounds his hand on the table. Yes, I instructed her to handle it, because they were irresponsible. They didn't know how to handle a family this large. Meri's expression becomes stern. No, Kody. You didn't want us to know where the money was going." There is a moment of silence, and then the judge continues. "Mrs. Brown, this statement indicates that more than $120,000 were taken out in your 2 joint signatures. That is true, isn't it?" Kody says nothing. Robyn mutters something under her breath, but the microphone catches what she says. "It was for the house." There is a stir in the courtroom. Meri advances. "The home you claim to have purchased with savings? The home you claim to be your dream house? You borrowed from family for that?" Robyn's voice breaks. "We were going to repay it. We just needed—" "Stop," Meri says curtly. "You had to cover your lies." The judge clears her throat. "This court will examine the financial records, but I have to ask, Mrs. Brown, were any of these transfers sanctioned by the other wives?" Robyn shakes her head feebly. "No," Meri inhales deeply. "That's why we're here, Your Honor, because for years we lived in a lie, and the moment anybody ever questioned it, they were pushed out. Emotionally, spiritually, financially." Kody leaps up abruptly. "Enough!" he thunders, his voice echoing throughout the room. "This family broke up because of jealousy and rumors. Meri, you've been resentful since I married Robyn." The judge pounds her gavel. "Mr. Brown, rein yourself in." But Kody continues, his fury pouring. "She's humiliating me like this." "You think she's a saint? Ask her what she did in the background, the secret she doesn't want you to discover." The courtroom gasps once more. Meri is immobile. Her heart misses a beat. "What secret, Mr. Brown?" the judge demands curtly. Kody scowls bitterly. "Ask her where she came up with that initial DNA report. Ask her who she paid to dig up dirt on us." Meri's lips purse. "I didn't pay anyone. I was sent that report anonymously." The judge raises an eyebrow. "Do you have evidence of that?" Meri pauses for a heartbeat. "Not yet," she confesses, "but I have a pretty good idea who did." Her eyes move to the rear of the courtroom, where Christine sits. Quiet but plainly tense, Christine's eyes flick away. The judge announces a brief recess to restore order. As bodies stand up, Kody pushes past Meri. "You're not just ruining me," he mutters. "You're ruining the whole family." Meri meets his gaze levelly. "No, Kody, you ruined it the day you put secrets above love." Outside, flashbulbs go off as Meri enters the hall. Media reporters scream questions. Christine follows her, taking her arm. "Meri, we need to talk. In private," Christine stammers. Meri shrugs her off. "You had your opportunity to tell me everything years ago. Why now?" Christine looks around uncomfortably. "Because I thought I could keep everyone safe. But after today, I know I can't. There's something you don't know about that DNA test." Meri's eyes go wide. "What's going on?" Christine glances over her shoulder. "Not here. They're listening." And before Meri can act, Christine pushes a crumpled note into her palm and melts away in the crowd. Meri slowly unwraps it, and her face drains of color. In sloppy handwriting are only 5 ominous words. "He isn't who you think." The camera shoots back to the courtroom doors closing behind Meri. The voices of the crowd blend into white noise. Within, the sound of the judge's gavel rings out once more, summoning all back for round 2, a round that will reveal not only lies, but concealed identities and past betrayals no one could anticipate. When the court resumes, there's a different air in the room, heavier, more charged. The air is so charged with tension that it's as if they're all inhaling the same fear. The gavel of the judge booms once, the sound ringing out like thunder in the quiet. Back in session, Judge Reynolds states, "We will now hear from Christine Brown, who is asked to give testimony pertaining to the DNA evidence brought before us today." Meri's heart hammers in her chest. She glances at Christine, who walks slowly toward the witness stand, her hands trembling. Christine was once the most nurturing of them all, the peacemaker, the quiet strength of the sister wives' family. But today, her face carries years of secrets she can no longer hide. As she takes the oath, Kody leans toward his lawyer and mutters something angrily. Robyn sits stiffly, mascara streaked down her cheeks, clutching a tissue so tightly her knuckles turn white. Christine clears her throat. "Your Honor," she begins softly, "what I'm about to say, it's not easy, but the truth never is." The judge nods. "You may proceed." Christine looks over at Meri, then Kody. This all began years ago, before the cameras, before the show. We thought we knew love, but in actuality we were constructing a house on secrets. The courtroom leans forward. Cameras zoom in. Kody. Christine goes on, voice shaking. Do you recall when you said to us that Robyn was destined to become a part of our family? That she was your spiritual partner? Kody scowls. What are you getting at? Christine swallows. My point is that she wasn't just your match. She had a past you never mentioned to anyone. One that links directly to that DNA report Meri presented. The judge furrows an eyebrow. Are you suggesting that Mr. Brown is not the biological father of Mrs. Robyn Brown's youngest child? Christine slowly nods. Yes, Your Honor. For the reason that that child's biological father is a different man altogether. A man from Robyn's history. Gasps spread across the courtroom. Robyn puts her hand over her mouth, her head shaking. No, that's not true. Christine's voice breaks. Robyn, please, stop lying to me. You told me all about it then. You said you didn't want Kody to know, that it would sabotage the whole thing before the show even began. Kody's face reddens. You're lying. Robyn, tell her she's lying. Robyn doesn't respond. Tears stream down her face, her hands shaking. The judge turns to her. Mrs. Brown, do you want to respond to this allegation? Robyn's lips open, but no sound emerges. Instead, she begins to weep hysterically. I didn't mean for any of this to occur, she says in a small voice. I just wanted to protect my children. To protect him. Protect who? The judge asks softly. Robyn glances at Kody, then Meri, and then Christine. Her voice is a mere whisper. Their true father. The courtroom gasps. The reporters spring to their feet. The judge bangs her gavel several times. Order! I will have order in this court. When quiet comes back, the judge gazes over at Robyn. Mrs. Brown, are you telling me that Mr. Brown is not the biological father of your youngest child? Robyn nods weakly, tears running. Yes, Your Honor, he's not. Kody pounds his hands on the table, his voice trembling with fury. You lied to me, Robyn. You lied to me for years. Robyn cries harder. I didn't have a choice, Kody. You were already leaving Meri. Christine was questioning everything, and I didn't want to lose the opportunity at a stable family for my kids. Meri stands quietly, her feelings churning, anger, disbelief, and a small aching relief. She wasn't crazy. She wasn't the jealous one. She was right all along. The judge inclines forward. Mrs. Brown, the court requires the biological father's name. Do you have any idea who he is? Robyn wipes her eyes. Yes, she whispers. But I can't say it in here. Why not? The judge demands. Robyn's eyes dart toward the gallery, toward the crowd, where a tall figure in a black suit sits motionless, face half hidden behind a press badge. Because he's sitting right there, she says. All cameras swivel. Reporters whisper. The man tenses but does not budge. Judge Reynolds glances at the bailiff. Bring that man forward. The courtroom sees the man slowly get up and walk into the aisle. His footfalls are slow, measured. The camera lights glint off his face, and instantaneously, recognition flares like a wildfire. Meri gasps. Christine puts her hand over her mouth. Even Janelle's eyes go wide. Kody's voice breaks. You've got to be kidding me. The man comes to a halt before the judge's bench. State your name for the record, commands the judge. He clears his throat. Samuel Cooper, Your Honor. I was a producer on Sister Wives for the first 2 seasons. The entire courtroom erupts into whispers. Meri's eyes go wide. You were part of the crew. Samuel nods. I was. And I made a mistake that's haunted me ever since. The judge's face is stern. Mr. Cooper, are you admitting that you are the biological father of the child involved? Samuel hesitates. His eyes dart toward Robyn. Yes, Your Honor, I am. The room falls silent as a tomb. Robyn starts crying once more, nearly succumbing to uncontrollable sobs now. I didn't want to mess everything up. We didn't think anyone would ever know. The test was meant to remain sealed forever. Meri's face clenches in anger. You deceived us all, the world, just so you could maintain your perfect reputation. Kody stands frozen, eyes fixed on the ground. His fists are balled so hard his knuckles turn white. When he finally raises his head, his eyes are brimming with rage and shame. All those years that I stood up for you, I lost my family because of you. And all of these years, you were lying in my own home with him watching us? Robyn cries. It wasn't like that, Kody. It was before you and I were together. It was a mistake. Kody's voice cracks. A mistake that made me a fool on national television. He slumps back into his chair, defeated. The judge slowly exhales. This court will again recess for verification and review of this testimony, but I warn all of you, perjury will not be tolerated. We will reconvene with verified documentation tomorrow morning. She bangs the gavel. Court adjourned. The crowd erupts once more, and Christine quietly exits the courtroom, avoiding all eyes. Meri catches up to her, catching her arm in the hallway. Christine, you knew this. You knew all along. Christine is silent, crying. Yes, and I did my best to protect everyone, but as soon as the envelope arrived, I knew it was too late. Meri's voice trembles. Why didn't you tell me earlier? Christine turns away. Because if I did, they would have come after me next. Before Meri can inquire as to who she is referring to, Christine pushes a small flash drive into her palm. There's more, Meri. The background on that DNA test, who requested it, who suppressed it. You have to see for yourself. And then she turns and disappears down the hallway as the camera focuses in on Meri's hand around the flash drive. She gazes down at it, her face rippling in the metal surface, and mutters to herself, "This isn't about truth anymore. It's about survival." The camera zooms up to the courthouse windows as storm clouds gather, lightning cracking across the sky, a metaphor for what's next. The courtroom atmosphere is chillier now. Each respiration mists over with anxiety. Twice already the judge's gavel has come down, but no one can quiet the tempest brewing between the Browns. Cameras snap in the back row, journalists anticipating the riot that is soon to ensue. Kody has his jaw clenched, his eyes switching between Meri and Robyn. Christine sits on the other bench, her fists bunched in her lap, muttering a quiet prayer. Robyn's lawyer rises. Your Honor, he starts smoothly, my client would like to tell her side of things. We believe there is more to this alleged DNA truth than we have heard. Kody's face relaxes. At last, someone appears to be on his side. But it's brief. Robyn stands up, wiping her shaking hands down her navy blue skirt. Her voice shakes, but her words cut through the quiet. Your Honor, I've held this secret for years. I didn't want to ruin my family, but Kody, you gave me no choice. Murmurs circulate around the courtroom. Meri moves forward, her eyes darkening. What secret, Robyn? She demands. Robyn spins around, tears welling. You're the only one who gets to discover something. You're not. I discovered something about you, Meri. Something you never wanted anyone to know. Gasps ring out around the courtroom. The judge holds up a hand. Ms. Brown, you'll get your chance. Proceed cautiously. Robyn takes a deep breath. 2 years ago, I found a document Kody kept from us about his legal property, trust funds, and property settlements. And on the document, Meri's signature was not made by a stranger, but by Kody himself. The courtroom erupts. Christine covers her mouth. Janelle breathes, no way, while Kody bangs his hand on the table. That's a lie, Robyn! You're twisting everything! But Robyn will not let it go. You manipulated all of us, Kody, all of us. You said we were creating a family empire, but behind our backs, you were signing over papers, sending money, and forging signatures. The judge orders the room to quiet again, but the tension won't subside. The courtroom seems to be closing in, the air thickening with each accusation. Meri interrupts. So, you signed my name? Kody seethes, his face flushed with anger. Meri, you don't get it. I did what I had to do to protect the family. For the show. For yourself! Meri interrupts, tears in her voice. You didn't keep us safe. You kept your ego safe. The judge slams his fist on his desk, frustration in his voice. Enough yelling. This court works with facts, not feelings. Ms. Brown? He nods towards Robyn. You said something about evidence? Robyn nods, brandishing a flash drive. It's all on this. Bank transfers, contract revisions. And she hesitates, her voice shaking. Emails between Kody and the production team of Sister Wives. Emails where he pleaded with them to make me the villain, so fans would feel sorry for him. Kody pales. That's taken out of context. I was venting, but the courtroom is already buzzing. Christine leans closer to Meri, whispering, He was trying to destroy us publicly. Meri doesn't answer. Her hands are shaking, but her face is stone. She's processing everything, every lie, every manipulation. The years of loyalty now feel like chains. The judge permits Robyn's lawyer to show one of the emails on the projector. The courtroom goes dark, and the screen illuminates with Kody's words. If Robyn appears bad on camera, viewers will finally get my side. Make her cry. Make Meri appear crazy. Christine needs to keep quiet. It sells better. Christine gasps aloud. He manipulated us like characters in a script. Kody bangs the table once more. I didn't mean it like that. You have no idea the pressure I was under. Robyn finally loses control, sobs streaming down her face. You used me too! You said we were partners, but you were arranging me to be hated. You destroyed my life, Kody. The judge waves for quiet, but it's pandemonium now. Cameras flash, pens scratch. The courtroom is like a stage that's about to collapse. The show ending. Reality at last asserting itself. Meri rises, slow and measured. Her voice shakes, but there is determination in it. I blamed myself for years about what didn't work out. I felt like I wasn't enough. But now I understand. Kody, you never wanted wives. You wanted control. Kody gasps at her, panting. You think you're superior to me? You all profited from my name. Christine leaps to her feet, enraged. Your name doesn't mean anything when it's founded on lies. The judge thumps his gavel down. Ms. Meri Brown, he says, with the evidence presented before us, it seems that this case might stretch beyond family issues. Forgery and defamation are not to be taken lightly. This court will demand. Suddenly, the back door of the courtroom creaks open. A man enters, older with graying hair and a weathered complexion. He is lugging a small briefcase and walks slowly towards the front. Meri spins around, eyes wide. Wait, that's... The man places his briefcase on the table and talks in a calm, steady voice. My name is Samuel Richardson. I was Kody Brown's accountant for 15 years. Kody's face blanches. No, Sam, don't. The judge tilts his head. Mr. Richardson, you've been subpoenaed? He nods once more, opening his briefcase. Yes, Your Honor, and I brought copies of each financial statement the Brown family ever submitted, including the ones Kody requested me to falsify. The whole room falls silent. Robyn even looks shocked. Christine whispers, He's done for. Kody's voice trembles, desperation seeping through his pride. You don't understand, Sam. You were part of this too. But Sam shakes his head. I took orders at the time, but I won't lie for you now. Meri sits down gradually, covering her mouth with shock. Robyn is shattered. Janelle says something under her breath that resembles a prayer. Kody slumps back in his chair. The man who once stood like the king of his own empire now appears. Small, the judge adjusts his glasses. Very well. This court will recess for the day. Tomorrow we'll review Mr. Richardson's documents. He bangs the gavel. The sound echoes like a final blow to Kody's carefully built world. The Browns rise. But no one moves toward Kody. Not Robyn, not Meri, not Christine. They all walk away in silence, leaving him sitting alone at the defense table. He gazes at the vacant seats, his own face reflecting off the gleaming wood. For the first time, there is a glimmer of fear in his eyes. Not rage, not pride, just fear. The following morning breaks gray and somber, as if the clouds themselves are observing what is about to happen. On the steps of the courthouse, fans and journalists stand holding umbrellas and cameras, muttering the same question repeatedly. Will Kody ever get exposed? Inward, the Browns settle into their seats. Meri sits close to the front, her eyes steady and serene. Christine and Janelle sit next to one another. Two women once estranged, now bound together by truth. Robyn is white and shaken, holding a tissue, her face smeared with the remnants of tears that had been slept through. And then Kody arrives. The swagger is gone, the cocky smile he used to wear like a shield. His shoulders are slumped, his suit askew. He appears to be a man who's already witnessed his destiny. The crowd buzzes as he passes through it, not meeting anyone's gaze. The judge arrives a few moments later. Court is now in session, he announces, his voice firm and authoritative. Mr. Richardson, continue your testimony. Samuel Richardson, the accountant, pushes up his glasses and opens the fat binder he brought yesterday. The rustle of paper fills the air like thunder on the eve of a storm. Your Honor, Samuel starts. These are family accounts of Brown's financial records for the years 2012 through 2023. They detail withdrawals from joint family funds into a string of private accounts in Mr. Kody Brown's name, some masquerading as production bonuses, others designated as property management fees. He flips over a page. But these weren't approved by any of the wives. In fact, several signatures were fake, including Mrs. Meri Brown's and Mrs. Christine Brown's. The courtroom gasps. Mary's mouth falls open, her eyes shining with shock, and Christine shivers, shaking her head and whispering, "I knew it. I knew something wasn't right." Kody leans forward, voice shaking with strained control. "Sam, those were bona fide business transfers." "You and I both know," Samuel interrupts him, his voice cold. "They weren't, Kody. You told me to transfer that money so your family wouldn't discover your personal real estate transactions. You said it was for the brand, but it was for you." Kody bangs his hand on the table. "That's not true! I took care of everyone. Without me, none of this, none of you would even be here." Robyn spins around to face him. "That's where you're wrong, Kody. We created this life too. We built this family with you, not for you." The judge holds up a hand for quiet, but the feeling in the room is overwhelming. Meri leaps up, unable to remain seated any longer. "Your Honor, may I speak?" The judge nods. She breathes deep, her voice shaking but firm. "I believed for years that I was the broken one, that I was the issue. Every time something would not work, Kody would make me feel like it was me. But now I realize this was never about family. It was about control, money, and power. And the rest of us, we were the price he paid for his ego." Her words are left suspended in the air. Christine's eyes well up with tears. Robyn even nods silently, her face etched with guilt and remorse. Kody rises to his feet, his voice growing indignant. "You want the truth? Fine. I did what I needed to do. I built this family from scratch. TLC raked in millions off my story, and I received crumbs. So, yeah, I moved money. I earned it." The judge scowls. "Mr. Brown, are you acknowledging?" But Kody interrupts him, his voice booming. "You think you all endured? Try being me. Try to bear 4 wives who nag, betray, and blame me for everything. You wanted freedom? You achieved it. Now you want revenge as well?" Meri's voice interrupts, icy and cutting. "No, Kody, we want the truth." Kody's rage fails. For an instant, he glances at her, truly looks at her, and something shatters behind his eyes. Perhaps it's guilt, perhaps it's regret. The judge addresses him sternly. "Mr. Brown, sit down before you utter anything else that might incriminate you." But Kody doesn't stir. His voice cracks, shaking now. "Do you think I wanted this? I wanted family. I wanted love. But along the way I lost everything. The cameras, the pressure, the expectations. They transformed me into someone I barely recognize today." There is silence for the first time. Even the reporters hesitate to keep writing. Meri speaks in a whisper. "You didn't lose it, Kody. You sold it." The judge clears his throat. "I think we've heard enough for today. I'll permit closing arguments before I render my decision." Robyn's lawyer stands. "Your Honor, my client has nothing further to say, but we ask leniency in making public this case because of the family's right to privacy." Meri's lawyer, however, steps forward. "Your Honor, this is not just a private matter. This is a case of fraud, manipulation, and emotional abuse. These women deserve justice, not silence." The judge nods gravely. "Duly noted. The court will take a brief recess before final deliberation." As the judge exits, the room exhales, a single breath of exhaustion and disbelief. The Browns remain seated. No one speaks. Christine glances at Kody for the last time. "I used to think that you loved us. Loved me, but now I believe that you only loved the version of us which made you sound good." Kody doesn't reply. His eyes are directed at the ground. Meri rises and moves towards the door, her pace deliberate but determined. Robyn trails behind, silently sobbing. Christine and Janelle hold hands. The sisterhood reawakened amidst the ashes of what once was their family. But as they emerge from the courtroom, one final twist still awaits to strike. Outside, there are reporters everywhere. They ask questions quickly. "Meri, do you plan on pressing charges?" "Robyn, do you forgive him?" "Christine, is the show definitely ending?" Meri pauses at the top of the courthouse steps. Cameras flash with abandon. She gazes directly into one of them, her expression serene, poised, nearly regal. "The show may be ending," she speaks quietly. "But the truth is just beginning." That same moment, a man from the crowd comes forward and hands her a sealed envelope. "This was just delivered for you, ma'am." From an anonymous source, Meri slowly opens it. There is just one photo. A picture of Kody shaking a lawyer's hand in front of a property building in Las Vegas, taken just a few weeks prior. On the back, in red letters, are 5 ominous words. Meri goes pale. Christine reads over her shoulder, her voice shaking. "He's still hiding something." The camera flashes again, capturing Meri's face. Not broken, not defeated, but burning with determination. "Because sometimes," she says quietly, almost to herself, "justice doesn't end in court. It starts there." And as the crowd buzzes and the reporters shout, Meri walks down the courthouse steps. Not as Kody Brown's wife, but as a woman finally stepping into her own truth.